Okay, so we could not resolve the underlying audio issues, but our co-host is going to hang out in the stream chat with us. I'm sure we're happy to help you guys out with the links and particular questions while I'm reading along. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some stuff, and then between segments I'm going to jump in and out of the stream chat to answer any relevant questions that I can. And we'll try and get through this nice and peacefully. I'm not going to try and rush through it. I apologise for the background traffic. It's a busy night tonight. It shouldn't interrupt too greatly. So first up, I'm going to start an Xbox party, so I'm not open micing here. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Let's get this show on the road, huh? Let's get it all started. So, hopefully, I don't get AFK kicked as I go through all of this, but guys, once again, welcome to the second AIU University Open Discussion stream. I've been looking forward to this, I have been, which is why I was quite gutted that we couldn't get things running as we originally planned, but such is life, you know, c'est la vie. So today, we will be talking about skeleton runes and the ways that we go about translating them, and also why we think the Sea of Thieves community team do this sort of thing. And then, yeah, question time, as always, will follow up towards the end. So let's get things fired up. Before I do, I'll say hello once again to everybody. I can see you all in the stream there. It's all connected on the chat. Excellent. Let's get started. Skeleton runes. So I'm sure many of you, especially those that follow the AIU on social media, have a very good idea of what the skeleton runes are and where they're from. But for anybody watching this that doesn't know, here is a crash course on what's going on with all of it and why we think the Sea of Thieves team is doing this sort of thing. So first off, what are they? The skeleton runes, they first appeared in the Revenge of the Morning Star tall tale, I believe. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure I'll be corrected, no doubt. But they're an ancient logographic text language that consists of a series of mixed patterns using dots, dashes, lines and swirls. Each different glyph, as they're called in the historian's world, has a different word or a grapheme that correlates to them. These words range rather high in number and continue to climb as Sea of Thieves team slowly releases more and more through the rather genius method of content teasing. This is where the runes gain the majority of their spotlight. They're on Twitter. If you're curious to know about any of these things that the social media, Sea of Thieves Twitter has been posting all over the place, the AIU University Twitter has been keeping up with it all, so you can check out our Twitter there. We'll get a link for you, I hope. Let me just fix this up because I bumped my stick. Yeah, we'll get a link put up for you to the AIU University Twitter. Our pinned thread has everything that the Sea of Thieves Twitter has been releasing as far as skeleton runes go for this year. We've been keeping tabs on it. So if you want to check them out, go check them out. They're all there, so it'll make a little more sense as time goes. But those runes, they piqued our interest, and mostly because the majority of the ones that appear in game have already been translated. Not all of them, there are still a few, but the ones that do appear in game have, you know, they've been translated. We've got damn good ideas as to how it's all going to work. But yeah, the runes that they're shown on social media, however, they have almost the entire community excited and rushing around trying to find out the most solid connections that they can in the hopes to learn about potential new content in the future, which is what I reckon this is all about. So that's basically a rundown of the skeleton runes. If you've got any questions about something that I might have missed, please feel free to hit me up. The skeleton runes are often rune shaped. Nice one, Tortuga. Yeah, we got a little bit of room here, so if anyone wants to fill in some extra details or something I'd like to go over, let me know. Hopefully I don't get picked off by skeletons while I'm sitting up here. That would be detrimental, wouldn't it? Worst comes to worst, I'll just take this to the ferry. But no, if we're all good, I will continue on to the next part of this wonderful stream that is working out exactly how I had originally hoped. Get a load of them down there. They're like, I smell meat, but I don't see meat. What's going on? Look at them. Ah, you're right. Yes, now that I think about it, Z9X. I hope that's not some sort of thing that I'm mixing up there, but the runes did first appear on the Box of Wondrous Secrets. Good spot. 2018 in the Forsaken Shores update. Good spot indeed. That is actually where they first turned up. See, we had no idea what they were back then, so they were just dots and swirls. Right, well, I guess we'll continue on. We'll move to the next segment. So I've now left the stream chat, and I'm not quite sure what you guys are going to be saying just at the moment, but I'll come back to you guys once I get through these next couple of paragraphs. Okay, how do we translate them? This is the part that most people tend to be most interested in. They're curious to know how we go about assigning meanings, or what the hell sort of discussions take place when new ones are released. So every time we do find a new rune, we first debate about whether it's actually a rune. That's generally the first wave of scrutiny that we apply to these discoveries, to first confirm that there's actually something there to be discovered. But once we've all agreed, in the majority, that the rune is in fact something, then we briefly lose our minds for a short period of time because it's all very exciting. But then we get stuck into the critical analysis of the T's. So we look at it, we take critical thoughts and all of the different hints for any telltale meaning that might be in there. It's the early stages of translation. So it's basically just finding out not so much the actual word, but the general context that fits. We're not so much looking straight away for a word to give it. We're looking for something that it might mean. And every rune tease that's come up to now has always had some sort of contextually relevant caption or definition for the rune itself. You know, like the Merfolk tweet from ways back. Like you had the Merfolk rune was on the chest of the mermaid, and you had the song of the Merfolk was mentioned in the caption, which was to reference the second part of the I'm losing my mind here. What was it called? The second part of that tweet was the other rune that was in there, the S-looking one in the sky. There we go. I found it. I found my way, guys. I found my way. But yeah, that's an example of how they've put runes into a post that's got like a hint built into it. But for some runes, we don't get a visual anchor. We don't get a hint, or there's no real caption to give us some sort of clue. It gets a little harder when that sort of stuff comes out, because there's nothing to kind of relate the rune to straight away. So the runes that we get from Henry's runes, for example, the ones that we got recently, the new 8 runes, they don't come with a sort of anchor. It's just a sheet of runes, and they just say good luck, mate. You know, they just kind of give them to us and let us kind of work it out on our own, and then they drip feed us hints and stuff as time goes on. But let me just recollect my place here, because I took my eyes off the screen for 2 seconds. Possible context to fit. So yeah, that's what we do. We look at other runes in the lines that we know, because generally the runes have been coming out. They've got a couple of runes in there that we've already translated, and through those runes we can kind of apply different contextual definitions to the ones we don't know, and then that's when the next part of scrutiny comes in. So we use the former runes, the ones that we know, to build up a theory, multiple theories about what the ones we don't know could be. Then we try to criticize the hell out of them and see which ones stand up to that criticism. And the ones that do stay standing, the ones that are harder to disprove than others, are the ones that are strongest when it comes to possible translations. And even in this point, we still can't say for sure that we have a definition for it. It just takes lots of thinking, lots of discussions, lots of chatting, and over time we will eventually find, you know, what the definition is, and then we get our ideas, we compile them together, we keep them close, and recall them later when we get it gets actually revealed, and just see how close we were. So we don't necessarily translate runes, we more come up with an idea of what they might be. You know, it's all just kind of mix and shake through multiple minds put together. But yeah, eventually after regular attacks of scrutiny, you know, it's kind of like a fact filter to knock down theories. And then the ones that are left standing, like, we don't necessarily dismiss the ones that are gone, despite, you know, the criticism. But if they don't uphold, then we can't sit there and definitively say that yes, this is still a possibility, because there's already something that's eliminated that chance. So that's kind of how it works. We just build up theories, and then we smash them down one by one and see which ones are hardest to smash down. So yeah, if you've got any questions further on that, I will happily follow you up. I'm getting messages here from Tortuga saying he's got it fixed. So we're going to take a question time here, and at the same time we're going to try and get Tortuga in here. So I'm now back in the chat room. All you guys can fill me in with any questions that you like. Z9RX, thanks for the follow earlier, mate. I'm only just now noticing that. Tortuga, thanks for the follow, buddy. I appreciate that. I noticed you jumped into party here. So, have a chat for us, Tortuga. Can you be heard, mate? Are you there, bud? Let's see if we can get him going. I can't hear him either, so... Are you there, mate? Where are you, bud? It says I'm disconnected. Oh, the party fail. The party fail. Alright, one moment. It's a good thing we're at this part of the segment, because we can now fill this stuff in. Might need to make a new party. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And invites away. One last ditch effort. You got it, Stan Graham. We want to hear that beautiful voice of his. Hey dude, how are ya? Alright guys, let us know if you can hear him in the chat there. Let's see if we got to the bottom of this. Okay, interesting. Got that out of the way. So do we have inclusive audio? Can we hear him? Charge, mate. Can we hear Tortuga? Let's see how we go. What do you do with a drunken sailor yar? So can we hear him? Can you hear yourself in the stream at all if you're watching? No, can't hear him apparently. It's all back and forward. But we did hear you for a second. Is that what you were saying? That we did get you for a second there? Have you clicked it? Yeah. Am I using OBS? Nah, mate, I stream straight through my Xbox, so that's probably where a lot of these issues are rooting from. That I'm streaming straight from console. Thought you had it. Well, we'll think about that in the future. We'll tamper some stuff for the next one, and we'll make it happen. I'm sorry, dude. I really am. I wanted to have you here, bro. I did. But I'll continue on. I got one segment left, and then we can just openly discuss with whatever we want to talk about over the stream chat. Thanks, buddy. All right. So, question time. If you guys have any questions about the way we translate our runes, if you just haven't already forgotten everything I just mentioned, then yeah, feel free to ask away. I mean, like I was saying, it's mostly just guesswork and, you know, applying different types of context that make sense with runes that we know. So I mean, like let's take a look at the the recent one. I really wish I could show you these. If I was on PC, I really wish I could show you these. But we have runes that we know or kind of know, such as Song and Trap, which were recently, Trap was recently revealed, and Inside. So that, if you've seen like most of the Falcor videos that he's been following, you kind of understand he applies a similar sort of, I guess, strategy. So he'll take the ones that he knows, and then he'll find something that makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, chances are it's probably not going to be that. So that's kind of how you kind of use the process of elimination to land your different possibilities. Yeah, see, Stone, we were in Xbox Party just now. It had all of the things with, he had his box checked to say that his audio should be included, and it still wasn't working. We weren't sure. Yeah, Windows is making it hard. It's probably more of a Microsoft as a whole. Capture card. I also don't have a capture card. Again, it's my Xbox Series S, so that new gen console could even be an issue. There's all sorts of barriers that we may not completely understand, or at least I don't anyway. I'm not super tech whiz. But anyway, without further ado, we'll continue on. It's only been 16 minutes, so this is, I'd planned for this to be with a couple of people, so discussions were going to be extended. Now I'm ripping right through it. So we'll go for a nice long chat towards the end. We'll fill in the time. So, I'll go on with why they do it. Why the Sea of Thieves community management team do these rune teasers. And this isn't so much like a scientific study, it's more just a personal opinion based on what I think, you know, like how it seems to be. So, to my understanding, there's some people out there don't know why they're doing it. They don't know why they're sharing these runes, or they think it's a bit of a troll, what they're getting up to. You know? I mean, just ask them why they can't say things openly and honestly, you know? Like, why can't they just tell us what it is the general question. But I think it's because of NDA. And I do, let me explain. So, they aren't allowed to openly and plainly tell us what's coming early. They can't do that, they're not allowed. They have set reveal times. They have set times where they will release content, or they will reveal content. Like, give us the details, you know. But the runes are the way that they can tease and keep this hype up. It's kind of a leak without leaking, you know. It's not a leak, but it's a leak, if that makes sense. They give us like hints for us to maybe find out on our own, you know, just that little bit before we are technically allowed to know. But again, even if we do find out correctly, we still can't say for sure that that's what it is, because it's all speculation. It keeps the hype, you know, it keeps the hype. And they drip feed, you know, they make sure that the information that they give us isn't going to give us the information before they want us to have the information. You know what I mean? They've kind of really carefully and really smartly planned this out to make sure that we don't get the information we're looking for until they're ready to give it to us. But they play it out like this whole Indiana Jones pirate mystery thing. And I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. It's a very, very unique way of, I guess, teasing content. You know, it's given us more control over how we go about finding it. And when I say more control, I mean it's more in our hands rather than up to them. It feels more in our hands, at least. And on the upside, it's also brought the community together in a fun way. You know, so different parts of, like, I'm meeting so many new people. Like the Ancient Isles University has so many amazing people that have come in over the time that it's been around. And it's all been around, like, the skeleton runes, the discovery, the mystery. You know, we're all just kind of bonding over this, and I think that's brilliant. It's all kind of come from this sort of skeleton rune fiasco, the mystery of it all. And personally, that's why I think they're doing it. You know, they're giving us those clues, and we just kind of go through and we lose sleep. We lose lots of sleep. I know I have, at least. Excuse me. But yeah, all of that in short, it's about, like, bringing the community together, all in all, I guess. I mean, we're all collectively trying to work these things out, where we're all merging our minds together. I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? What do you guys feel about the the bringing of the runes. Where do you stand on it? What's your opinions? Do you like them? Are you just having fun with them? Is it just kind of following on, waiting for every bit of information to come across as it does? Yeah, this question time. Yeah, sorry, question time. I'm just kind of going back over the chat here, making sure I haven't missed anything, which is good that I totally haven't. Yeah, they do. They do. You're right there. I want to make sure I've got this right. Is it Sornir? Sounds kind of Viking-like. But yeah, they bring out their big parchments with brand new runes on them, and then they kind of scatter the clues around. You know, they spread them out over time, not so much across the field. You know, they kind of give us a little bit more here and there. That's an alright pronunciation. Alright, I'll go with Sornir then. Sure. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But no, do you guys like the skeleton rune things? Do you dislike them? If not, please feel free to tell me why. It's actually pretty good. Cool. You love them? That's good. Yeah, I love them too. I love the mystery. I've been spending more of my Sea of Thieves time trying to work out these runes and find different ways to think about them, to approach the translations, different possible contextual fits, different theories that we could build that might hold strong, and then discussing that with everybody else in the Discord, just having a chat with you guys about it and seeing you guys attack it with scrutiny. And you guys know how I am with scrutiny. I love scrutiny. I'm all about the because scrutiny is like, again, it's like the fact filter. I think that's a pretty good word for it, fact filter. Trying to just get through all the crap things that won't stick. Make sure that we get rid of them nice and early and keep on to the big stuff. That's right, for certain types of players, and that's the part. It's very niche, and one thing that I say was a drawback with these skeleton runes is that, you know, it kind of feels like it's targeted at the sort of people you find in the university or Falcor's Law channels. You know, it's very niche. So there's going to be people out there that they just want to know. They don't want to be piss farting around with this nonsense, as they would call it. They're not so much into the scholar sort of thing. Linguistics has never been your strength. Numbers are much easier for you to understand. See, numbers are also important. So knowing how to count when it comes to translation is also a big part of. What would be? I'm trying to find the word here. I don't have it on me. Because you want to number each individual rune type, so that way you know when they reappear. And then you go from numbering rune types to numbering rune groups. And it's not so much the maths of it, it's more so the numeracy, because you can use these numbers to communicate each different part universally without actually having to know each individual rune yourself. So you can just say C number 3 or C number 3A, for example. Get back to that because I've bumped it again. I'm just trying to make sure I don't get AFK kicked, because I will. The game will be like, you're not doing enough, Nath. Get out. So anyway, it is very niche. Yeah. It's addressing those that have been around for much longer, that have more in tune with the lore. They've spent enough time kind of looking into it. So it generates that excitement in us older players. Oh, he's got a flintlock. He's going to shoot me. Oh, he missed. Little bitch. Yeah. Take that. He told it to me straight just then. I'm going to go deal with this guy. Give me a second. You go away. Thank you very much. Mess with me, I mess you up. There we go, and we're back. God, this gig is hard, man. This gig is really hard. Tortuga. Yeah, see, that's where it kind of differs. Mathematics is a different story. That's a lot stranger when it comes to linguistics. It's a whole different language, I guess you could say. Noticing patterns in language is very important. Now, if you look at things like flame heart in skeleton language isn't flame heart. It uses the runes flame to heart. But as a group, as those three runes together, much like letters to make a word, you will say it as one name. You got another example on the sales of the Reaper's Cosmetics. I think it is that one. It says Sea Kingship or Sea Ship King or something. Like it doesn't sound like much of a phrase, but it's because grouped together they wouldn't necessarily translate to the literal definitions. They translate to a more contextual definition. So it'd be more like Ship of the Sea King rather than Ship King Sea or Kingship Sea or however it's assembled. So different assemblies will have different ways they're said. Like it's all about finding those repetitive groups and seeing if the context that you believe fits that group repeats and still makes sense in different sentences. And then you can pretty much safely assume that you're on the right track. Kind of. See, I'm no actual historian. Basically everything I know comes from everything I've learned over basically school and what I've looked up and researched since starting this skeleton rune stuff. But Egyptian hieroglyphs, I believe they're less about words and it's more phonetics. But the name system, which is what I think you're talking about here, the name system is very similar. They'll have a big collection, but in the same sense, they'll isolate that group to say the name, but the individual icons in each name have a phonetic connection. So like Tutankhamun, you would have Tut, Ankh, Amun, those three phonetic, I guess you could say, would be displayed in his name, which is essentially the same concept. 5 types of clues. This is a translation concept. Okay? Oh, interesting. Yep. See, Tortuga, this is why I wish I was able to get you in here, dude, because you've got some shit to say, bro. You've got some shit to say. Yeah, buddy. I'm really sorry, man. But yeah, this does actually close it. I have closed up the that side of things. So we've done with the discussion, and it's only half an hour in. Normally, I would only be finishing up now, but like we're open to talk about absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be, skeleton runes. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Like we can chat about anything AIU related or Sea of Thieves related. Just to fill in this extra time while I've got it out. We'll go for another 10-20 minutes and just have a good old chat. Yeah, I see what you're saying. See, I'm not actually in the law channel for that. That's for Falcor, right? That you were mentioning there, Sawney. God, these skeletons make me nervous. They're just kind of rolling around like, bitch, we don't give a shit about you. Move on. Sawney, I would imagine Rare has to be drawing inspiration from an existing image-based language. See, that's not Sawney, sorry, that's Z9RX. That's a dyslexic moment hardcore because his name popped up shortly afterwards. Pure heresy in jest. I get you. But see, Z9RX, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds, I feel like I may not be. But I've actually done a lot of back checking. Same with the ancient cultures. I've actually been looking at where they might have either drawn their inspiration from or even how they want to, I guess, define the origins of it. But I've been looking into like Mayan text. The closest I can find that was into, like, there's really not much. And I think that follows the same concept would be closer to, I had the name of it right on the tip of my tongue there, right as I was about to say it, and I've forgotten the name of this ancient culture, but they come from South Africa. They originated in that sort of area. But it was more like cut into rocks rather than painted or spoken. It was like wood chipping. So I guess it was technically is it a protograph? I don't know, I'll have to go back all over that. There are gaps in my knowledge. Zulu? See, I'm not familiar with Zulu myself. I wasn't kind of directed that way when using Sea of Thieves references to find origins, because I was kind of keeping it inside that one side. But that's actually something I might look at in the future, especially for ancient cultures, because they look like they may have been like Talos people, or Tainos, I think it's called. Tainos or Tylos? Something like that. Or the ancient Caribs. They were a tribe of the ancient Caribs, which is where the Caribbean gets its name, because they were the natives that were there at the time, but they got wiped out really, really fast when, I think it was probably the French that got there first, I'm not sure. Was it the French? I think it was Napoleon. Yeah, see, that's another thing that I was pointing out, Tortuga, when it comes to translations. We can't think too much in an ancient mindset because they were made by modern day minds. Like in ancient cultures, writing never existed. In this case, it did previously. So there's influence from time that's developed, whereas back then, it was all brand new. So this is a language that's been created out of knowledge that we have from today's languages and writings and things like that. So it may even become much more complex. Like it's simple in construction, but I say complex as in it's quite elaborate. They're going quite deep with it. There's many runes for many words, and they're still pumping them out. I think we got like 30 something skeleton words, I think now, something like that. I'll have to count back over them. But we have like all of them as emojis in the Discord, which is great. So you'll always be talking in skeleton. It's good fun. Well, on that note, guys, I think I will close up this stream. I do apologise once again that things didn't turn out quite as we planned. I'd really hoped to have a much richer discussion here with one of our students from the Ancient Isles University, Captain Tortuga. Gated in what manner? Because we definitely keep things secure, if that's what you mean. Like we don't like to let misinformation or possible misleadings or anything escape our clutches. If we're not completely certain about something, we're not going to call it fact or say it as such. So like someone fired from a cannon, I'm probably going to have company shortly. Yeah, right, yeah. See, it's mostly because chats get crowded. Chats get very crowded sometimes. And we're not all about the numbers, I suppose. Like we try to keep things at a rate that we can keep up with, not just like as a university, but as leaders as well. I mean, it's still a community that we have to manage as the leaders, and we have to make sure that we're up to that challenge. And if we end up with too many people, it gets out of hand, and we can't keep up. So we've got to make sure that we apply people at the rate that we're ready to take on the extra people. So yeah, like, because we're only a small team. There's only 3 leaders to, like 3 administrators to the server. And if we end up with a couple of thousand people and we've still only got 3 administrators, it can get quite difficult. Like, it's already a daily job on my part. I'm in there every day, doing things, writing things, typing things. So yeah, well, I believe there is plenty of quality in the quantity that is the Sea of Thieves community. There's plenty of beautiful people out there, and people that I would love to see in the university. But we want to make sure that the experience stays rich and the experience stays whole. We don't want things getting out of hand to the point where conflicts evolve and then we struggle to get a hold of things. And it's like standard issues. Yeah, one of those is my ship. I don't know if this is the same guys from earlier. It doesn't look it. This has not been a friendly server. Happy Pride Month, by the way, guys. Good to see they're repping. This is the second ship too. Maybe they changed colour. Well, I guess that's probably a better time than any to kind of wrap it up before I end up doing this from the ferry. Pride Pirates represent. Now sink. That's it. You got it, mate. Another standard friendly pirate introduction. I would expect no less. Well, if you guys would like to catch up anytime, you can check me out on Twitter at NavePacewell. Anything you want to talk about Sea of Thieves related, my DMs are always open. You want to give some feedback to these streams. We're always looking to improve. I know, like, we're not professional entertainers. We're men of science and women of science. We don't necessarily, talk to people for a living. We're more quite introverted. But I am happy to try and improve in any way I can. And my resources are limited, but I love to sit down and have a chat with you guys. Your interview partner should have audio. Yeah, see, I really, really wish I knew what that problem was. I wish I had the knowledge and the wisdom to come up with a solution to that right at my hand, but I did not. And I feel inferior. I feel like I've let you guys down. I'm sorry. Windows-based host for the next one? Yeah. It's more than likely console related. Like, honestly, if we could go all out with this, we 100% will. And as we develop, I'm sure we'll be able to over time. But we kind of have to work with what we got for the time being. And we didn't want to not do it. You know what I mean? We may not have the right... There's a guy down there scoping me up. Take a look. Can you see him? He's like, what are you doing up there, man? What are you doing? He probably has no idea. I'm going to take a shot in a minute. But yeah, we're always looking to improve, and over time we will. So just drop us any feedback. You hit us up on Twitter. The Ancient Isles University Twitter is always available. I can hit you with a link in a very short time. I just have to pull it up for you now. I'm also half keeping an eye on these guys to see what happens. They're running off after someone. Maybe they didn't see me. Who knows? Alright, here we go. I'll get you the university Twitter handle when I learn how to use a mobile phone. Because everything I do is literally all on my phone except for the streaming, which happens on my Xbox. There he is. He knows exactly where I am. Or does he? Oh, there it is. Tortuga's got it happening straight away. Fantastic. Alright guys, well, much respect. Kind of saw that coming. Where's my well played? Let's take this to the ferry, my dudes. Giving you anxiety? Ah, mate, it's not the first time, hey? It's not the first time. The last stream we had some Athena Voyagers come over and they were getting cracking into the background and stuff. They hung out and kind of jumped around a little bit, waved their buttocks. They did like a little mooning. It was quite humorous indeed. But I will bring it to a close. I'm kind of stalling this whole bringing it to a close thing because I'm enjoying chatting with all of you guys. I still have fun. But thanks for hanging out. I mean, your support is literally all we ask for. Just come hang out, come chat, come say hello, enjoy the company. And if you want to change host, I mean, I won't take it personally. We can find someone else to talk your ears off. And I'm just the guy that was there at the time. Make them more frequent, hey? See, we were thinking about making them more frequent because we thought monthly was the most ideal. But hey, if you want to do bi-weekly, fortnightly, is that right? Bi-weekly? No, that's twice a week, isn't it? Fortnightly. We could probably work something out with that. But yeah, I mean, we're always looking for topics. If you want to suggest a topic for us to talk about, feel free to again tag us on the Ancient Isles University Twitter. We'll bring it up in the Discord and then we'll compile something to talk about with you. Just feel free to mention it. And if you want to talk about anything at all, just message myself. I'm always happy to talk to you guys about anything on Twitter. I mean, I'll talk all night. I'll stay up just to talk about anything Sea of Thieves. You know, law, physics, science, doesn't matter. Just have a laugh, share a story. If you got a clip of something awesome that you did, I mean, share it with me. I'd love to hear it. So bi-weekly can bizarrely mean either twice weekly or every 2 weeks. See, I feel like I'm just going to say fortnight because that's the one I know. So I'm going to go with that. But once again, guys, thank you so much for joining. Once again, feedback. Yeah, I'm stalling again. I'm having fun. Good note. Yeah, fortnight's the way to go, I reckon. But yeah, I have to leave. Let's close it before it just everything gets too crazy. I'm going to get lost in it. Much love to all of you. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys had a fantastic time, and I appreciate every single one of you dropping by. Feel free to drop a follow on this Twitch account if you like to catch up with the next ones, but don't get too attached to it. I mean, it's my personal Twitch account. Eventually we will have a university Twitch account that you'll be able to follow. It'll be separate to this one, and that'll be the one you want to follow, not this one. It's rubbish. So I'll catch us all in the next one, which we might do in 2 weeks' time, might do in a month's time. We'll see how things go as far as this audio problem for starters. So hopefully we'll have that all fixed up for you in the next time around, and we will see you all then. Chat with us on Twitter. Much love. Stay frosty, guys.